Court 24 is where it's all happening. The proceedings attract yet another large crowd, and one of the reasons why they are rushing in is to watch the much talked about video recording which former Chief Security Officer Major Hamza Al-Mustapha tendered in court the day before. Inside the court, there's an elaborate setup. 2 television sets, one facing the judge, the other facing the court for the playback of this video recording. Even a power outage will not stop the airing of this video, as a generating set has been procured. But there are more hurdles to be crossed just before that. First, we're told that Justice Mojisola Dada has ordered that the courtroom be completely cleared, as she fears for her safety. And so everyone, even lawyers, are to be screened before they can gain access back into the court. After all the pushing and shoving, the lawyers are allowed back in. In order of preference, a few journalists are also let in, shortly after which Al-Mustapha arrives.
Just move aside.
And after last-minute consultations with his lawyers, he's led into the courtroom. The court resumes from where it stopped the day before. The viewing of the videotape, which Major Al-Mustapha claims, shows some Southwest leaders leaving the Aso Rock Villa after allegedly being induced with cash to jettison the June 12 mandate. Channels Television was unable to obtain a copy of the video. Neither were the cameras allowed to film while it played. But when played back in court, the video, which was about 4 minutes long, depicted images of an interview session by some journalists with the late Pa Abraham Adesanya, who was clad in a black suit and surrounded by about 6 persons, among whom was Chief Bola Ige. In answer to their questions, the late Afenifere leader was shown to have admitted to having just met with the head of state, General Abdulsalam Abubakar. To questions on the new position following the death of Chief MKO Abiola, he said, quote, "The position is that there will be a government of national unity, but we need a sovereign national conference to prepare the constitution by which we will be ruled," end of quote. The late Pa Adesanya also told his interviewers that in Yoruba land we have a proverb that when 2 brothers go into a room to discuss, if they come out with frowned faces, it means they've said the truth to each other. But if they come out laughing, they've not said anything serious. After this interview, the pictures depicted Pa Adesanya and Chief Bola Ige moving towards a vehicle smiling, while the other people flanking them exchanged banters, laughed and embraced one another. In continuation of his defense, the former CSO explained that the visit took place on the 8th of July, a day after Chief Abiola was murdered. Major Al-Mustapha also alleged that the laughter of the men after the visit was as a result of their inducement by the Abubakar administration, which made them jettison the June 12 mandate. He further claimed that a video recording of their arrival at the villa, which showed them visibly upset at the plan to scuttle the June 12 mandate, had been seized by General Abubakar, who did not want him to divulge this information. The court later admitted in evidence a copy of an 11-page letter, which the former CSO alleges corroborates the videotape evidence. Major Al-Mustapha claims he wrote the letter 10 years ago to Chief Bola Ige, detailing how the late Justice Minister was unconsciously used to scuttle the June 12 mandate. Major Al-Mustapha also narrated to the court a grand plan to eliminate him after one Mrs. Stella Omiyi, the then Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, allegedly failed to recruit him as a witness against the Abiola family, who had charged the federal government to court claiming damages and compensation after the late politician's death. At some point in the testimony, the former CSO said Malam Nuhu Ribadu was asked to kill him, but he was saved by the former Commissioner of Police Lagos at the time, AIG Mike Okiro. He also testified that if the late head of state, General Abacha, had listened to his Chief of Defense Staff, General Abdulsalam Abubakar, former President Olusegun Obasanjo would have been executed in 1995 for allegedly participating in the coup plot. All this information, Al-Mustapha claims, made him an enemy of the General Abdulsalam administration, which then set him up and implicated him for the murder of late Kudurat. Justice Mojisola Dada has adjourned further proceedings till next week Monday, when Major Al-Mustapha will be cross-examined. What's left to be seen is how the prosecution discredits the authenticity of the video evidence, and indeed all other testimony on this issue, as many continue to wonder what the correlation is between the video evidence and the charges of conspiracy and murder of the late Kudirat Abiola, for which he is facing trial.